Okay, let's get started. Oops. Welcome everyone from Zoom's meeting or from LinkedIn streaming to the new episode of Megaport Tech Drop-In. My name is Morgan Wang, and I'm a solution architect in Megaport here, based in Melbourne. Um, Without further ado, let's get started with today's session. And today we'll be cover something about myself, apparently, and some very basic Megaport 101s, and also we'll be getting into a quick case study with some live demos on the portal. And after that, we will have some time, hopefully, to get some questions and answer those questions. A little bit about myself. My name is Morgan Wang, and I am solution architect here at Megaport. Myself is Melbourne-based, so I'm predominantly supporting Megaport Victoria, Tasmania, and the New Zealand customers. But uh, please feel free to reach out no matter where are you located. Below, you got my contact information, my email address, and my LinkedIn profile. Reach out if you need anything from me, myself, or from Megaport. I can definitely or very happy to help. Any case, or otherwise, I can make introduction to your local account manager and solution architect if needed. All right, let's get into some very high-level Megaport 101s. So Megaport is uh, a software-defined network service provider. And currently, we are in over 800 data centers globally. I think the number I heard last time was around 860. And we are also interconnecting over 280 cloud on-ramp public clouds. So we offer very cost-effective services and really flexible and slightly scalable. By that, I mean almost everything we offer, I say almost everything we offer are virtual and the cloud-based. So you can spin up and down, you can order anytime you like or cancel anytime you no longer need them without any issues. So that's probably most attractive part of the Megaport services. Let's talk about maybe some Megaport products. Here in the slide, we have actually divided Megaport products into two major categories. On the left side, you have all the Megaport access services. We have port, apparently that's basically a fiber optic port in one of our data centers across globally, 800 plus data centers. We offer 1 gig, 10 gig, and 100 gig optic ports in those data centers. And we not necessarily now offer 100 gig ports everywhere currently, but we do have 10 gig ports everywhere. Some of the data centers, either they are like a very popular data centers or for any reasons, we are phasing out 1 gig ports because of the customer demands are very low at the moment. So please check Megaport portal or documentation if you're interested in any data center or the data center you are currently in to order a Megaport port. The second and the third access product we have here is Megaport Cloud Router and Megaport Virtual Edge. That's actually kind of a question I had when I first joined Megaport. Cloud router and the virtual edge doesn't sound like a access product because by definition, access product is actually lead you a service or anything into a last mile customer premise or data center. But actually, talk to my colleague and engineering team and product team. It's because we put them into the access product category because some customers and more customers are actually cloud native customer now. So they don't want or not necessarily need to bring anything into physical data centers. They might have multiple cloud services, and they might have interconnection with other, third-party cloud services or partners. In this case, they just need one of the services. And in terms of the service itself, MCR Megaport Cloud Router is just a simple virtual cloud instance, which does all the basic routing functionalities. For example, BGP peering, it does route filtering, something like that, um, where customer can easily interconnect their data center layer 3 service or public cloud service together with MCR. And for those scenarios, customer require pretty more complex functionalities or other different scenarios. Uh, Megaport Virtual Edge probably a better choice than Cloud Router. Megaport Virtual Edge is actually a compute, storage, and connectivity resource we provide over Megaport platform. Customer can load their own virtual appliance on the MVE platform and just to put together their own solution. And with MVE, there are probably multiple common use case or scenarios. For example, customer will normally use MVE for a cloud routing. It's basically similar to the cloud router, but with the window of your choice, you can bring on more feature size and capabilities as well. And another typical scenario is customer load a next generation firewall appliance on the MVE platform. So they can use MVE as a security gateway, internet perimeter, etc. And the third one is customer can actually use MVE to build SD-WAN over the network, because we do have uh, heaps of SD-WAN providers that we're comfortable and we tested working well on the MVE platform. And in that case, you don't have to provision a physical connection from Megaport Fabric to any of your, remote sites or data centers. You can just bring them through the SD-WAN overlay with SD-WAN enabled MAE. All right. Then move to the right side of the products connectivities. We do have different flavors of connectivities, but end of the day, they all some sort of virtual cross connections. The VXC. VXC, we can interconnect your access service to any cloud providers, for example, from your Azure to your pod or from your AWS to your MCR, things like that. And we can interconnect your private services. For example, if you have a port and if you have a MCR, you can definitely interconnect them together with VXC. Apart from that, there are two special connectivity services. One is Megaport Internet. It's basically a VXC that from your service connect into Megaport Internet Gateway, so that you can have internet services provisioned to your Megaport Fabric. Another one is Megaport Internet Exchange. Basically, you can interconnect to the IX and peering with different service provider or content providers within the Megaport IX. And the last two are actually very interesting ones. One is marketplace. One is service key. It's built up our Megaport ecosystem. For example, if you are a cloud-based storage provider and you also a Megaport partner or customer, and you want to share your service or you want to bring your customers into your platform, what you can do is actually you can create your own Megaport access service, for example, a port or a MCR or MVE, and publish that on the Megaport marketplace. And then your customer or your partner can actually find your service and make request to connect to your access service. Instead of building a building a IPsec VPN over the internet, you can actually have your customer or partner privately, securely connect into your platform through Megaport Fabric. Another option is service key. Say you're still doing the cloud-based storage service, but you don't want to publicly uh, make your service available to random customer or random people. Instead of publish that in the marketplace, when you create your access service, for example, a pod again or MCR, you can actually create a service key from that access service and hand over that service key to your specific customer, and they can use the service key to build a connection from their end to your access service. So instead of everybody knows you are here, you just uh, hand over service key to very specific customers, and they can still interconnect with you through us. Right. So yeah, that's pretty much a uh, quick 101 introduction of Megaport product. Let's maybe talk about something in the real life, optimized connectivities. It's actually being brought up more than a couple times in the past couple of weeks by our customers. It's actually quite common as well in the whole industry. Um, I'll just take example of how things get here. Say a customer, they have a data center location in Melbourne, based in Melbourne, and they are using AWS as their public cloud service provider. So it's very simple that they create a port in the data center and they create a VXC to cloud VXC interconnect AWS into their data center. So they can send and receive traffic from AWS to their data center. As the business grow, they expand to Sydney. They have built up another data center in Sydney, which then Sydney data center also need communicate with AWS. So they have to enlarge the router in Melbourne data center. So everything to Sydney or from Sydney will bypass Melbourne data center physical equipment. And when the business grow, things get more and more complex because apparently customer expand to London, New York, and London, New York data center will do the same thing, exactly as Melbourne data center and Sydney data center. They need to talk to each other. First thing is they need to talk to each other, and the second thing is they need to connect to AWS. And in this case, because the main data center or the head office is based in Melbourne, so everything's still through Melbourne data center. So you can see the connectivity getting very, very complex very quickly. And not only stop here, the company introduced a multi-cloud strategy. Sometimes it's a big because customers' own choice. For example, I want to put my compute resource in AWS, and I want to put my SQL server in Azure just for the benefit of licensing fee, things like that. Sometimes it's because acquisition or merging. Um, I'm in AWS. I'm purchasing a business that is predominantly in Google Cloud. So I need to talk to each other. I need AWS and Google Cloud talk to each other. And how do I do that? So with the pre-set up uh, infrastructure, everything will send back to Melbourne Data Center again and send back to Google Cloud. So that actually put a lot of workload on the Melbourne Data Center routing infrastructure. And how do we optimize that? Again, that's very common scenarios of a lot of customers. How do we optimize that? So instead of having all the traffic sent uh, through Melbourne data center or tromboning the Melbourne data center, we can actually deploy something in the cloud. It can be a MCR, it can be a MVE. In this case, I'm using the MV because that's again came from very specific customer requirement. This AWS and Google Cloud not actually through a acquisition, it's actually a third-party partner. So instead of just have traffic route between the two public cloud tenancies, they also need to put in some firewall rules to make sure that things not, you know, go too crazy. So customer's choice probably the MV is more suitable in this scenario, and the customer will deploy a next generation firewall appliance on the MV platform. And the outcome from that is all the traffic between AWS and Google Cloud will no longer traverse Melbourne data center, which is great because that takes away a lot of pressure of the Melbourne data center router. Another benefit is because Sydney and Melbourne uh, location-wide, the physical location-wide is very close to each other. And you don't need actually London to establish connection between itself and London, Sydney and Melbourne. Instead, you probably use that cloud-based MV as a distribution point. So you can save a lot of intercontinental connectivity cost. That's very expensive. So you can see the simplified connectivity is actually, uh, if not doing a better job, at least doing the same job as the previous one, as this old one. But it actually reduced a lot of, connectivity level and uh, costing level of complexity. Okay, then how can we make that happen in the real world? Let's get into some demos in the portal. So here we are enter the Megaport portal because in the example, I will be using a MV instead of MCR, and MV is technically a customer managed device. The customer need to provide a licensing, management, configuration, things like that. And Megaport will provide compute resource, connectivity resource, storage resource. So there will be some configuration involved into stand up a MVE. So I have a MVE, my test MVE stand up before this presentation, just for the sake of saving some time. It will take probably roughly 3 to 5 minutes. uh, then you have this MV boot up and you have the license loaded and you have the basic configuration loaded into the MV. I have also provisioned a 20 meg internet service just for the sake of I can manage that MV remotely from my here. I'm working remotely, so from my house. So that's pretty much the uh, central point of this whole solution, the MV device. Now I'm just looking to uh, interconnect that MV to Google Cloud because I already have this AWS connection pre-provisioned. Let's just go into Google Cloud. In Google Cloud, um, under the network connectivity, interconnect, you will find that the option to create a VLAN attachment. This is actually the piece of job you need to do when you need to interconnect into your Google Cloud tenancy. Let's start doing that. Because this is a demo of how to interconnect through Megaport. So I'm picking partner interconnect connection, and I'll keep that simple. So unencrypted interconnect. I already have my service provider, which is Megaport, and I don't need to get things over complex for a demo, so I just need one single VLAN. Apparently, it is not recommended, but it's fine for a demo, I reckon. I'll connect into my default network. And because my head office is in Melbourne, so I will pick my interconnect region to Melbourne. I have a pre-provisioned Google Cloud router in this tenancy, so I'll use that router for interconnection, and I'll use that name VLAN today's date for my VLAN attachment name. I'm happy with IPv4 single stack, and I'll pick a very ordinary MTU. Okay. Now Google getting busy, create my pairing key and all this sort of setups in the background. Now I have my pairing key ready. I can just copy that and go ahead, build my VXC from MV to Google. Here's the option, do I need to pre-active the VLAN attachment? That basically says, when I create a VXC and send a request to Google, do I need to double verify that request? Because this is a test environment and I'm just want to get things really quick. So I'm happy with pre-activate. I don't need to worry about that later. So, okay, this side of things already down. You can see that Google tells me I'm waiting for the service provider, which is Megaport. Now I'm going back to Megaport. I'm creating a interconnection to cloud. If you remember, this is a Google Cloud, and I have my pairing key copied from the VLAN attachment creation page. So I'm creating a interconnection into Melbourne. I can pick either red or blue zone, depend on my diversity design choices. And I'm happy with that. Connection name, let's name that Morgan test VXC from my MV to my Google Cloud platform. I want to keep that minimum speed. And because I have pre-provisioned my MV, and apparently the MV supports up to 5 VNICs. And one of the cloud one, is I'm planning to use for AWS and Google interconnection. So I'm using that VNIC. And I want to tag that to VLAN 200. This is a demo, so I don't need to commit any terms. But if you want to commit a term, you apparently get a discount from that. And we see order. Okay, here we come to a decision point. Once I click that order now, or when you click the order now in the in your portal in the real world, that means you actually consider start to paying for the service. But before that, you can actually build all the services here, configuration, and place the order all together. So you make sure that everything is correct, happy with everything, and order them all together. Let me order that now. Okay, let's leave the portal busy working on that interconnection, and we can create a port for the MV to actually connect back into my Melbourne data center. Let's create one in Equinix ME1 port speed. I want 10 gig. Again, port has a minimum term of 1 month. I just pick 1 month here. You have choice to actually create a ports in different diversity zones, just because we can separate them on different physical devices for different maintenance windows, things like that. But in this case, I just need one port, so I'm happy with that. Add a port, and from the port, I'll create a interconnection into my MVE. This is VX Morgan testing VXC from my MVE to my port in Melbourne. Equinix 1. This can be as low as 1 meg. And this is my private connection, so I'm attaching that to a different VNIC. I can leave that as untagged, or I can change that to tagged and let Megaport to pick a VLAN number for me. Add VXC. Okay, I'm done with configuration of port and the VXC. Let me just go ahead and order that. In the meantime, let's go back to Google Cloud, see if I've got anything back from. Oh, not yet. Still working on that. Probably just create another port. Yeah. Give me one. One month term, no diversity. Happy with that. Order that. Okay. See, Google received my request for interconnection apparently, and it's waiting for me to config BGP. If BGP is because I'm using MV, so the configuration need to be done through the CLI in my MV appliance. But if you are using MCR, this actually can be done through the Megaport portal directly. This is my private AS number I have configured in my MV. Let me just save that. Let Google to translate that into its own configuration and start the BGP negotiation. Cool. Probably in less than 5 seconds, I reckon. The BGP session already up. And now we have done the MV to Google Cloud connection. And also we have done the data center deployment and data center to MV connection as well. Let's just refresh that page, see what's happening with support. Yep, it's still working on that. Probably in another, I don't know, 10 seconds or things like that, we will have a port configured and LOA should be generated for the port. So you can reach out to your data center and organize a cross connection. And pretty much that's job done for the data center and the cloud connection. That's what you can actually do in 10 minutes with Megaport portal, with Megaport solution. And I might just pause there, see if there is any questions about anything we talk about today or anything in general. Um, so one quick question. Oh, by the way, here we got the port provisioned, and from here you can actually see the information of your port, and you can use that to organize cross connection. I've got a question about is that internet service required for the MVE? The typical question, a typical answer to that is it depends. Um, because in this case, I want manage the MVE from remote, so I need to provision a small bandwidth internet for the management really. But in case you actually need to run SD-WAN overlay, so you probably need to provision as a internet underlay for that. Or otherwise, if you're happy with keep everything private, you connect the MV into your data center directly, get an IP address assigned from your private network. You may not need a internet service at all for that MVE. It really depends on the scenario and how do you want to run this thing. Um, is there any other questions? Okay, I think the time is up, and that's probably sums up our drop in today. Thank you so much for your time, and really appreciate if you can reach out to you if you have any questions. Very happy to help, as mentioned. And that's it. And have a great weekend. And see you next time, same channel, another Megaport Tech Drop In. Cheers, guys. Bye.